Have you ever seen someone selling printables on Etsy or elsewhere and thought, hey, that looks fun, but then you thought to yourself, well, I'm not creative enough to do something like that? I've seen this before, and as someone who teaches people how to design and sell printables on Etsy, I hear this complaint all the time. So I want to address the elephant in the room. Can you sell printables if you're not creative? Maybe you're one of those people that thinks they aren't creative, but what if I told you that you've created your entire life up to this very point? That's right. You're the creator of your reality. And the sooner you start to realize and believe that, the sooner you're going to embrace how powerful and amazing that you are. Okay, so sure, if you don't like where you are in your life, then it might sting a little bit to hear that at first. But the sooner you embrace the fact that you're the creator, the sooner you can make shifts to create a reality that you love. Because here's the cold hard truth. If you have a brain that functions, you're creative. You dream up new ideas every single day about what to wear, who to be, where to go, and what to eat, and on and on. So many people in the world today believe that they're just not creative and that they can't think creatively. And maybe that's something you've thought about yourself. So why is that? Well, let's first talk about what creativity even means. Last year, when my daughter was in the first grade, I went into the classroom to help out once a month. I wish I could still do that, but unfortunately, her new teacher doesn't really have the same setup as last year. So I am glad I got to do it when I had the chance. But anyway, I typically used to help with stations. And this is where kids would go from station to stations doing different activities. Sometimes it was reading, sometimes it was puzzles, sometimes it was math, coloring sheets, that kind of thing. But the thing that was always so wild to me was how the kids would do one task a million different ways at my station. For example, I remember one day the kids had to write their name 100 different times on a piece of paper. Of course, there were the kids that started with line number 1 and they continued all the way to line 100. But then there were the kids that started from 100 and worked their way to 1. And of course, there were the few that started in the middle and went all over the place. Or another time I remember that if two things were matching, they had to color them the same color. I remember thinking it was so interesting how some kids just picked one color to color each object while others did patterns. That right there is creativity in action. Completing a task or finding an idea or solution that works by experimenting, playing, or just doing whatever you want without looking around at what everyone else is doing. I love that about kids. If you told a kid to color on a coloring sheet, they wouldn't say, I'm not creative. They would just do it. And therein lies the problem of the first reason why so many of us feel uncreative. It's because we compare ourselves to others, and it's the worst it's ever been in this world. And that's because we have that instant ability to see what everyone else is doing at all times. On social media, on the news, on the internet. It makes us feel like everyone is doing more creative things than us. We see it as a big sum game. Our screens show us people on Shark Tank coming up with amazing new businesses and celebrities developing new products. Even though we know that creativity is about so much more than just these big inventions, it makes us feel lesser than. The other reason we don't feel we're creative is because of school. Yes, school institutionalized us to think that there was only one answer. If we didn't get that one answer, then we were wrong and therefore a failure. We learned from an early age that we don't want to fail. So we stay inside the lines and we do things the way they're supposed to be done. Cue that one John Mayer song about the real world. What we don't recognize is that the way things are supposed to be done, it's a lie. The unfortunate thing about not wanting to fail is that we don't try new things. We don't explore in hopes that we won't fail. And when we don't try new things, we accept where we are and we never grow. And the truth is, it's just not true to believe that anyone can't be creative. As I said before, you are the most creative being on this planet. And if you still think that you aren't creative, I want to ask you a question. How creative do you think you have to be in order to be successful selling printables? Can you put a number on it? How many creative things does someone have to do before you consider them creative? Is that something we can measure? The answer is no. The fact that you don't think you're creative is coming from a belief that you have about yourself that is completely made up. What if you decided that that belief was not going to influence you anymore? Imagine what then becomes possible for you. So can you sell printables if you're not creative? Well, absolutely, because now we know that you actually are creative. You just have to get the guts to give something new a try and see what you're capable of. You know what is really changing the game when it comes to creativity lately? Artificial intelligence. I know. Can AI really give you creativity? Well, I don't know that AI tools like ChatGPT can be creative technically, but it can help you come up with ideas for printables that you could sell. Want to learn how? Grab my free printable guide, The 3 Steps to Unlocking Printable Ideas Using AI. It's going to teach you how to make AI your personal assistant when it comes to coming up with printable ideas. You can grab it over at atouchofla.com/AI. And I hope you'll embrace who you truly are inside, which is an extraordinarily creative being, and start hearing cha-ching by selling printables. So I will see you in the next video.